and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. So I am doing a Q&A today, a spiritual Q&A I guess, because I haven't done one in a while and I thought we were overdue a Q&A session. So I asked all of you guys on my Facebook group, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to ask me your questions, and I have so many I generally don't know whether I'm going to be able to get through them all. So I will certainly try, but I don't want to make this video like 40 minutes long. So first of all, I'm going to do Facebook questions. So Helen Barber asks, how do crystals benefit the physical, emotional and mental well-being? So I don't think I have the answer of like why they affect us, but I think it's just like the energy in them. I feel it's like the energy just impacts our lives, helps our manifestations, helps literally every aspect of our life. They affect us. And who is it who said to me? I feel like it was Rachel, my psychic. I'm pretty sure it was Rachel, said to me like there's like living little things in crystals, so they're like living beings, they're not just like a rock. So she was always like, you know, you need to cleanse them, you need to be nice to them, you need to ask them. And like whenever I accidentally drop one, I'm always like, I'm sorry crystal. Like I just act like they have like feelings, because ever since, I swear it was Rachel, ever since someone said to me that they have like consciousness and they're like, you know, they're people, like there's things inside, energy beings, I was like, oh my god, I don't want to piss them off. So I was like, I'm sorry crystal. But I suppose the house is almost like they just completely lift your vibrations, help with energy, you know, they're there as your like aids almost, like whatever you ask them they're gonna help you with. So I think that's like how they help you. Like, you know, if you want to, for instance, when I got amethyst, that was to help me sleep better, so I just asked the crystal to help me sleep better and it did. So it's almost just law of attraction, like you just ask, believe and you receive. But yeah, just see your crystals as like little angels or beings that want to help you, and yeah, you can literally ask them to help with anything. You know, look at the properties of the crystals. If it's rose quartz, it's obviously love, healing. Amethyst is a very like intuitive healing crystal as well. So I hope that answered your question. So Joanna Smith asked, how do you deal with people in your life that don't understand your spiritual side? Okay, I think people are just polite to me nowadays. I think because like before, when I first started this with my old friend group, they were literally like, you're crazy, blah blah blah, this is bullshit, like you've lost the plot, blah 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 blah. And you know, and even now, I wouldn't, like, I definitely don't have negative friends, but some of my friends actually don't do law of attraction, but they're so supportive in what I do. You know, they're always complimentary of my work, they're always like supporting me and have my back. So I wouldn't say I've got anybody who like disses it. But what I found is like over the last year and a half, literally every single person in my life is starting to do law of attraction, whether they admit it or not. They will think positive thoughts, they will manifest, they will do things. And I really think like there's not really anything I've done apart from prove to them that this works. Like they see my work, they see you guys follow me, they see my following, they see the press I do, they see the success I have, they see that I've created this whole life, they see I manifested the dream man. And I think it's almost undeniable for them now that they're like, okay, right, first of all, we thought Emma's going crazy. Now I actually think she may be manifesting this. So obviously if someone's being like rude to you and really like nasty about it, then I think you need to question whether that person should actually be in your life anyway. Are they a negative influence? Or should you be surrounding yourself with positive people who do, you know, lift you up and inspire you? But if someone is inspiring and really supportive and, you know, just a nice person in your life, but just generally doesn't believe in this, then the best thing you can literally do is just show them, prove them wrong. Don't like force them to do it. Don't like give them books or like push it in their face. Like try that. And if that doesn't work and they're like, no, 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 then let them find it for themselves. Like you need to be that person who shows them that law of attraction is real. So I definitely, like, I 100% know that Mr. C is going to do this one day, because if I have, like, if my parents do it, my granddad even watches my videos now, all of my friends and even their partners who I never ever thought, and they used to take the mick out of me, even do it themselves. So if I can do that, I literally, anybody can just show people that this works. So Sylvia said, why do most of the times things don't go as you had planned, and how can you change it with the law of attraction in order to manifest them? Or if you kind of mean that like things keep going wrong for you, maybe you should look at your terminology and maybe see by the fact you've literally told me that things go wrong for you, that you're literally manifesting that. So instead of saying like, why do things always go wrong? Say, they always go right. Things go right for me. You know, if you've got a date coming up or something, you know, like this is going to be an amazing date, I'm going to be happy. Like, it's all about your self-talk, your positive self-talk. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling others? Because if you're saying like, and this is the thing, I have to be so careful when I give examples now because I do still inflict it on myself. So I'm going to do the opposites game here. So what you should be saying to people and yourself is, I have lots of money, I am surrounded by wealth, I am surrounded by loving, amazing people. What you shouldn't be doing is the opposites of those examples. So you really need to, like, even if your situation doesn't reflect those things, you really, really have to like drill it into yourself to be speaking positively and manifest those outcomes. And also, it's like really important to remember we have divine timing into play here. You know, things sometimes just don't work out, and you know, I've always like got myself upset or disheartened when something I really wanted hasn't worked out, but that's because something better is just around the corner and the universe needs to clear out this old thinking for me or old like beliefs in order for the new amazing stuff to come in. So sometimes just look at the bigger picture of what am I telling myself and others, and actually, is this a blessing in disguise? And the last Facebook question was from Liza Medley, who says, what's your theme tune to your life? The one song you go to pick yourself up? Now, I really had to think about this because music is my life. I absolutely love music, and I have such a passion for all kinds of music. Like, I just love all kinds of music, and I think Mr. C really hates that because I absolutely love like loud music and like dancey music, and he's just like, oh my god, like, you're so young. So yeah, I don't know whether it is my age. It probably is my age as well. Obviously, I've been brought up in a world in the era of amazing music, but I think I have 3 songs which I've accumulated down into my life songs. So if I had to listen to 3 songs which would instantly raise my vibration and instantly like lift me, it is Coldplay, Yellow. That is just my favourite song. It's so lovely, it just speaks to me so loudly, and I feel it's very like university as well. Then my second song is Coldplay, Hymn for the Weekend. I don't know why, but this song again speaks to me in volumes. It's all about like love and like partners, and oh, I just love it. It's so cute, and the beat's really good. It always just makes me want to dance. It makes me really happy. So obviously, like, they're quite like mellowish songs, I would say. Like, on my level of music, I would say they're quite mellow. So my third song is one which I've found a passion for really recently. So I first heard it, George Michael sung it. It was the Killer remix he did. It's called Killer. I can't remember what the other half of the song is, but half of it's called Killer, and it was originally done by George Michael, and that was good. I like the beat, but Pete Tong literally like aced this. So I downloaded Pete Tong's Ibiza Classics album probably like a couple of weeks ago. Like, I just love it. It's so good because it's all like orchestra as well, so it's like clubby but orchestra, and it just works amazingly. He is a musical genius, and on there he's done his own version of Killer, and I have to say, oh, it just fills me with so good. Like, it's so spiritual, the beat is incredible. I literally think that song alone could like cure any pain in my life, or literally whenever I want to feel good, I listen to that song. So make sure to go and listen to Pete Tong's version of Killer because it is so damn good. Okay, one of my own friends, Amelia, has popped in a question here which I really liked, so I'm going to include it. And it is, if there was one person, alive or deceased, that you could speak to and have a conversation with, who would it be and why? Oh my god, this is... Oh, I really should have thought of this before I filmed this because there's literally so many people. So many. I'm going to do more than one. Audrey Hepburn is definitely one of them. Now, I wouldn't really say there's like a really spiritual meaning behind it. I just always felt connected to Audrey. I love her films, I love her elegance, I love her style. Like, she's my like style icon. So I think I just love to be around her energy, and just have a cup of tea with her or something, just because like she literally died about 3 months before I was born, and I was like, that is no coincidence. And I always used to say when I was younger, like, I'm the reincarnation of Audrey Hepburn, and I have no idea why I ever said that. But yeah, I just absolutely love her and love her style in movies, so I'd love to definitely meet her and have a conversation. And I actually think Louise Hay, now I probably would have had a chance to meet Louise Hay had she have been alive still, but sadly she passed this year. So I think I'd love to just have a cup of tea with Louise Hay as well and just speak to her and just speak all things spiritualism. And I actually think like someone like Michael Jackson as well. Michael Jackson always used to really fascinate me, and I feel like he was really spiritual as well and like never really spoke about it. So I think I'd definitely like to have a cup of tea with him. We could just have an afternoon tea with like Audrey Hepburn, Michael Jackson, Louise Hay, have Wayne Dyer there as well, sod it. I'd love to have a chat with Wayne Dyer. I'm just trying to think who else. Like there's so many people throughout history I'd love to meet. Like Leonardo da Vinci, I'd love to meet him after like Delano spoke about how like Mr. C's soul like literally is connected to him. I was like, that would be awesome. I don't know, like Albert Einstein, like because obviously he did law of attraction. I don't know, just have like a big throwback with loads of amazing people throughout history. Oh, I just realised Amelia did actually put alive or deceased, and I've literally just named everybody who's deceased. Maybe I should name some alive people as well. Okay, I have met Tony Robbins, so I don't know. Yeah, I have met him, but I'd love to like have a cup of tea with him and have a proper chat with him. That would be insane. I've met Brad Yates, so there's one ticked off the list. Who else? Who else really inspires me? Gabrielle Bernstein, definitely. Love her to pieces. And maybe like Dalai Lama. I'd love to meet Dalai Lama. I just feel like he's so lovely and just want to give him a hug. That would be good. I'd like to give Dalai Lama a hug. I'd just like to give everybody a hug. I'd love to meet you guys as well. There's another one. I just want to meet everybody. There we go, Amelia. I took your one-person question and turned it into the entire world. So I'm not sure of this person's name, but it is ArtHBZ, their Instagram handle, and they ask, what's the last thing you manifested? Now I literally had to think so hard about this because I was like, what was the last thing I manifested? And it's actually been paid spiritual work. So I know that sounds weird, but I've been manifesting so much spiritual press. Like I'm in Soul and Spirit magazine this month, and I'm going to be over the next 2 months as well. I've got a full page article in next month all about how to manifest twin flames, which is 100% a manifestation. This year when I wrote my list of goals, I was like, I'm going to get in Soul and Spirit magazine, I'm going to have a full article, and I'm literally going to become one of their experts. So that is well under the way of happening, but it's all not paid. So I was like, okay, I really need to get some paid spiritual press because obviously I need to pay my bills, and you know, once I sell my business, that is going to be my, you know, my bread and butter. So I need to kind of, you know, make sure that I'm earning for everything I do. So I started like manifesting like talks and like paid talks, and like, you know, I've literally had so many paid talks come my way, which is amazing, and I can't wait to do them because I love meeting people in person and talking to them one-to-one. And I'm also working with a few like positivity charities and mindset websites to do content for them and videos for them, all paid, which again is amazing. And also I've also been manifesting sponsored posts on Instagram for spiritual companies, which is like even better because when you like, I always have this thing, like I only work with brands I'm really passionate about, but for me, working especially on Instagram, creating pictures I love and being paid for it is like the dream job. So for me, manifesting like more paid spiritual work has definitely been an incredible manifestation for me at the moment, and Soul and Spirit magazine is definitely like probably my most recent manifestation, which I'm really proud of and something I've worked really hard for. But kind of like the biggest thing at the moment, which I'm currently manifesting, is the sale of my business, and I'm being tested at the moment, very being tested, but I'm learning to be okay with whatever outcome happens, whether I sell it or not. I'm learning to be okay with both outcomes. So, and to be honest, I'm like almost at that stage again, like where I was with the dream man before I met him, where I'm just like, oh, I just can't be bothered. It's so much work. Like selling a business is so much work. Like I could just carry it on and earn money and everything will be fine. So yeah, I'm kind of in that stage, but as soon as it happens, I will let you know. So Lexi Clark 93 asked, how did you get into the law of attraction? And do you have days where it's hard to raise your vibrations? Sorry, that became 2 questions. Don't even worry about it. So I found law of attraction in April 2017. Nope, April 2016. That was last year. It was 2 years ago. April 2016, when I became single. I went through a really shitty breakup, and I mean really shitty. And I was like emotionally fucked. Like, I was at rock bottom, lost every ounce of who I was as a person, didn't know what I wanted to do anymore, wasn't fulfilled, literally depressed, wanted to commit suicide, the worst of the worst. And I literally remember like just sitting there, like I'd lost all my friends, no one wanted to see me, and I was just like, fuck, like what the fuck am I doing? And I remember just literally like sitting down one day and going on YouTube and just thinking, how can I turn this into a positive situation? Like, there must be a positive to take away from this. And I'd kind of like asked, like 5 days before when I had, no, so 5 days before I had an absolute like shitty night. Like, my ex hadn't come home, and yeah, I pretty much knew where he was. And I was just at breaking point, and I remember like crying for 4 hours straight, and I just remember like looking out of my window and just being like, please God, please help me, like what the hell, like please get me out of this situation. And it's the first time I'd actually like turned to God in years, and it makes me emotional because it was like, oh my God, like that was the point that my life changed. And I was actually thinking about this last night, like, wow, that's the point that changed my life into every amazing thing I have now, and like how amazing it is that my life has turned into this in 2 years. Like it's well, it's real, it's not crazy, it's real, I've done it, but it's just like, that was the point that changed everything for me. So 5 days later I typed into YouTube how to turn a negative into a negative situation into a positive, and Louise Hay came up, and I watched her video and it just really resonated with me. It was one of her older videos, and I don't know, I just thought like, wow, what this woman's saying is really interesting. And I always find it funny that Louise Hay was the first woman that I came across, or like the first law of attraction speaker I came across, because obviously she created Hay House, and I'm currently writing my Hay House book proposal. And like, you know, I mean, I already know, but I'm obviously gonna like act normal about it. But you know, if I was, when I do get my book deal with Hay House, you know, how amazing is that she was the person who led me to all of this, and now I'm going to be writing for her book publishing company, which is going to be amazing, like amazing. So that's how I found it, really. It was in my hour of need. Like everything is, like how I started my couponing side was in my hour of need, and now this is my hour of need. And like obviously I've turned it into like such a positive, and like inspire so many people nowadays to do, you know, to turn their lives around and have everything I have. And yes, I do still have days where I have shitty days and I need to raise my vibration, or something happens and I'm just like, oh, like what the hell, like I was so grateful and now I'm just like in this pit. And you know, I think it's actually almost nice to have those days sometimes, because I'm so used to having a high vibration and like constantly raising my vibes to like make sure that you guys feel it, and like I'm positive for everybody in my life coaching clients and everything like that. Like I'm constantly living and breathing law of attraction, so it's kind of my responsibility to make sure that I have a good vibe. And sometimes I just enjoy it because I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna have a day off today. I'm just gonna be like, you know, and I'm always grateful for it because it reminds me that I am human, and sometimes I forget that, and sometimes I realize that actually there is still work that needs to be done. So I always look at it as, hang on, what work needs to be done here? What do I need to work on? And shall I just have a day off today? So don't like beat yourself up about it. That's the worst thing you can do. It's always like best to just really honor how you feel. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. And you know, just be true to yourself. That's what I always say, like honor how you feel. And if you have a down day, tomorrow's a different day. Tomorrow's a new day where you can be up and you can raise your vibes again. So just try not to worry about it too much. If it persists, then obviously you can do EFT, you can do energy clearing exercises, maybe staging your house is a good idea. But sometimes we just need to go through these lulls and bad vibe days to actually learn things. And over the Christmas period, I actually had 2 months where I solidly had such low vibe, and it was really hard because I just like literally I would cry about it. I would be like, oh my god, I need to be positive for like all my followers and my clients and everything, and I just feel shit. I was like, what is this? And a lot of it was like collectively cosmic energy, like where the planets were, where the moons were. So sometimes it's actually out of our control. So always look at like what's happening at the time. Is it a full moon? Is it a new moon? Is like Mercury retrograde on? Like there will be something. Sometimes it's actually not our fault. So always have a look and then assess whether it's something you need to work on or just chill about. So Bibiana, I hope I've pronounced that right, really hope I've pronounced that right, asked on Instagram, what is one thing you want people to know about law of attraction, and what is one thing you want people to know about Emma? So the one thing about law of attraction would be that it's a constant journey. So a lot of people think like once they manifest like their dream man, dream house, dream life, that's it, you just stop doing it, boom, switch off, got what I want, thank you universe. It's not, it's an entire lifestyle. It alters your whole being, your thinking, your lifestyle, everything, and you're constantly evolving. Like I watched some of my videos back from like last year or the year before, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember filming that and I remember thinking, oh my god, I know it all, like I know so much, and then I sit here and I'm like, you knew nothing, Emma, like nothing. And I feel like my brain's got bigger, like I've learned so much information, and like obviously I've developed like small psychic abilities. Like it's a whole spiritual journey. Like you kind of realize like when you get further into the law of attraction, then it's not just law of attraction, like it's a whole spiritual lifestyle of crystals, angels, moon cycles, spirit guides, the whole freaking lot. So I think some people may go into it like, I'm just gonna manifest, and then it's like, nope, you're not, you're gonna have a whole lifestyle like me, which is not a bad thing. Like I love my life, I love what I do, and you know, I have support in my whole life for what I do. But yeah, I think I would just say that it's so much easier when you open yourself up to all of these things. Like I resisted it for so long, and I was just resisting so much happiness and fulfillment and even more incredible manifestations. And one thing to know about Emma, oh god, I don't know what's that interesting to know. One thing to know about Emma is, and I actually always speak about myself in the third person. It's really weird. I don't know why I do that actually. But I think if anything, like a lot of people will say like how confident I am, and like, oh my god, you're so confident, and blah 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 blah. And I think it's important to remember that I channel a lot of like the universe and the spirit when I talk. So for me, like for people who actually know me, know how much I doubt myself, and I know for a fact I do not give myself enough praise for what I do. Like I work every single day that the universe blesses me with, and I do so much for charity, so much for free, so much to help people, and I just don't actually just pat myself on the back and say, well done Emma, that's really good. And you know, like even when people pay me compliments or people, you know, write such lovely messages, I read it and I'm like, oh, and then I kind of almost think like, oh, they're talking about someone else, and I'm like, no, they're talking about you, Emma. So I think I definitely need to learn to accept it. But I don't know, sometimes I just think like, well, I'm just channeling the universe, so I'm just spreading the universe's message, but it is me who's doing it. So I definitely need to give myself some more credit and to love myself more, and to realize that I'm the reason that I get all the good messages and all the love and all the vibes and all the success, because I make it happen. So I guess that's something which, there's a self-declaration there of something Emma needs to work on. And the last question, I'm sorry I haven't got through all of them, but this is like a 30-minute video already, so I'm really sorry. I will save them until next time. Like there was just so many, but I've tried to cover as many as possible. So the last one was from Natalia. So she put, hey Emma, about friendships, how do you come about with friends and drifting apart due to not being on the same vibes? Not feeling like you're gonna meet up as much, etc., that kind of topic. So it's so difficult because, like I said, spirituality is a continuous journey, and for a very long time, like a year and a half of my spiritual journey, I generally went through a lot of friends, and they kind of used that against me. And I kind of did, like, I sat down with Selena, who's probably the most consistent friend who's been in my life over the last 2 years since I awoke, and you know, I just said to her like, what am I doing wrong? Like I make all these friends, they seem really positive, and then they use me for my work, they use me for what I do, or they just don't like me and fuck off, or do you know what I mean? And like I'm always making the effort and I'm always giving and I get nothing back. And a lot of that was definitely lessons of, you know, self-love and like saying no to other people and yes to myself, definitely. But I think it was just those people had to be in my life at that time, and it got to a stage where I was so used to people coming in and out of my life, which is so bad. Like it was actually really sad looking back. It's actually really sad to think that, but that was just what had to happen at my time. And in the last 6 months, I actually feel like I've definitely found my tribe, like people who are going to stick in my life forever. I've literally cut my friend group down to the people who I literally trust my life with and have my back and sing my praises and actually do law of attraction. And that's, you know, I still have like an outer circle of group. So I also have like an outer friendship group who I probably don't see as often, but I still keep in touch with. And, you know, when we do meet up, it's really good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But literally, like, I've had to be so, like, hard on myself, if anything, because it's like, stop letting these people in. Stop people like, you're letting people use you. You're letting people walk all over you because you're a nice person who wants to help people, and that's why they're using you. And, you know, like, I could always tell, like, if there's bad vibes and anything. And like, genuinely for the first time in my life, I'm actually 100% happy with every single person that's in my life. There is not one person I have drama with, shade with, any problems with, and that has taken a year and a half to get to this place. So I did manifest positive people coming into my life and people who do law of attraction, but they had work to do on themselves and that wasn't my job. So it's almost like accepting that the universe does have control here, and it's really hard because you almost think, well, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're being a good friend. You're like showing up, interacting, being loving, helping, and that's the best thing ever. That's, as a light worker, what we should do. But ultimately, if that person's not meant to be in our life, we can't fight for them. We can't fight for them to stay because the universe will just remove them anyway. And I did that for a long time and it just made me unhappy. It wasn't honouring what I wanted to do or what I believed in or my morals. And you have to accept the relationship is changing, and, you know, people will get you or they won't get you, and that's not your problem. Like, I struggled for a long time to learn that not everybody's gonna like me, that not everybody who watches my videos is gonna like me, not every one of my followers is gonna like me. I mean, I hope they would if they followed me, but you know what I mean? Like, people who come across my work, not all of them are gonna like me, but that is not my problem. My work will find the people who need it. My work will find the people who are positive, happy, and want my good vibes and want my advice, and happy and gonna spread love into the world equally as much as I do. And finding that was really powerful for me because it made me realize that, like, I'm doing nothing wrong. I have, you know, obviously if I had done something wrong, like being a bitch or whatever, like, I'd hold my hands up and say, like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect in everything I do in my life, but I'm obviously really conscious that I act with love and I always make people feel loved and accepted and listened to, and I always give advice to my friends, and, you know, like, I always give. And sometimes giving too much is just so one-sided, and then when you stop giving, those people are going to turn around and be like, rah, like, it's all your fault. And you just have to understand that that's projection. That's not a reflection of you. That is projection from them and their unhappiness and something that's going on with inside them. So all you can do is just trust that the universe has your back. Trust that the universe is putting you through this process to make you feel happier. And, you know, looking back, I'm so glad that it did. You know, as hard as it was, I'm glad that all those things happened and that I now have a solid friend group who literally like my ride or dies. Like, I trust them with my life. I trust them with everything. I trust them more than anything, and I know they would literally have my back and be here if I needed them, and vice versa, I would be for them too. So yeah, you just need to find your tribe. You need to find your tribe, and if people aren't making the effort or they're not like reciprocating your effort, then they just don't get you. And like, as hard as it is and upsetting as it is, you just need to let it play out for how it is. You know, if they're meant to stay in your life and eventually learn law of attraction, then they will, like, they will. And it's really funny because my friend Amelia, like, we actually didn't speak for like 8 months or so, and, you know, now we've reconnected, like, our friendship is so much stronger. And, you know, I kind of felt like, I don't know, like, I felt like she was kind of like someone who was just meant to go out of my life, but then I always felt like it was unfinished business, and I always felt like, no, like, I miss her so much. Like, she was the one person who I miss, and I thought, no, she's not a bad person. And like, when we reconnected, it was so good, and like, now our friendship's so strong, and I just have such a good time with her. And, you know, she's definitely like gone on her own positivity journey and like finding the law of attraction. So, you know, now it's just a completely different friendship, which I absolutely love and value more than anything. So sometimes things like that can happen. People can go out of your life and come back into your life when they need it, but you have to realize that the universe is literally pulling the strings here. Like, it's not in your control at all, and you just need to trust that whatever's going to happen is for your highest good and for their highest good as well. So thank you so much for all of your questions, guys. I really appreciate them, and I hope this video has helped you. And thank you for all your views and likes. I really appreciate them. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below because I reply to them all. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. And I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.